What's going on, guys? This is part 2 of the Journey restoration. Now, I left you off where we painted it, and as you can see, from a distance it looks great, but honestly, if I were to zoom in, you can see all this orange peel. Terrible, terrible orange peel. Looks great if you stand back a couple feet, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to get this perfect. There's a couple little divots, like right here. This is why we wet sand, because I can get rid of these little divots. But for the most part, I mean, everything's doing well. There's nothing really serious, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to wet sand. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I have 600 grit sandpaper. I can always go lower if I need to, but I think 600 might be good enough. But I have a bottle, an empty bottle that I put water in, and a drop of dish soap. Okay, I'm just going to spray it right on the cabinet, and I'm going to hit it with some wet sand. Keep it wet. Keep it soaking wet. There's some spots where it didn't cover very well. I don't care. At this point, we're basically shaping the cabinet. And the reason I put a drop of dish soap in here is so it's easier to sand. It kind of lubricates it a little bit. So I'm going to have an old paper towel I already used. Wipe it off. Now, let's see here. That should pretty much dry immediately, so I can show you what happened. Okay, so as you can see, there's a spot right here where I wet sanded and made the bottom coat come out a little bit. That's okay. Once again, there's going to be multiple coats here, but let's see if I could find a good angle. See, like over here, you see some of the orange peel, and then where I wet sanded it, orange peel went away. So I'm going to wet sand it, and as I wet sand it, I might find spots that it looks like right here there was a little, if I could see it. Do you see that divot? See it? Right here. I may find things like that, but if it's minor, you know, I can go. I'm not even going to worry about it because we're going to paint it again and we're going to wet sand it again. So let me finish wet sanding this entire cabinet, and I'm going to put a second coat on. Okay, the entire cabinet has been wet sanded with 600 grit paper, and my wife put a very, very, very thin coat. I mean, just enough to barely cover it of paint. And that's we should have less orange peel if this camera would focus. Let me try to zoom in to give you some detail. You can kind of see some of the orange peel here still, but there's also still some small indentations. And there's some roller marks still. But this is going to be removed yet again. I'm going to do multiple wet sands, but at this point you can actually kind of see a reflection on the cabinet. Now this side right here has not been sanded yet. Oh, looks like, Kelly, did you paint this side a little bit?
Yeah, I started a little.
Yeah, it looks a little thick. Anyways, once again, there's going to be certain spots that, like right here, there's a divot right there, and you can see some of the coat went through. This is where the sticker is going to be for the side art, and so we're gonna get it close, but I'm not gonna stress about this very minor divot right here because it's gonna be covered in the side art. Now, once again, you don't want this to be too perfect. There are certain cabinets, so you can see where when I repaint and wet sand again, it'll fill in some of these divots. But the reason you don't want this to be too perfect because it wasn't perfect. For now, right here on the top, here is the original finish. You can kind of see where it was textured slight bit. I mean, it was not a mirror finish from the factory. So, I mean, I'm not really going to stress out, but I am probably going to take it to, 1,500 or so, and then I'm going to buff it out. But if you make it a mirror finish, it'll look funny that way too. So we're making some headway here. Okay, I am zoomed into the cabinet here, and here's, just for size, here's my finger here. But I hit it with some dry 320, and I wet sanded it with some 400, and I might be able to do the final coat now. We're gonna see. Now these little scratches, honestly, they're not that bad. Oh, there you go. That kind of focused a little better. They're not that bad. You're not going to be able to see that when it's all done. And you can see the paint is kind of colored differently, and that's because there's two different coats of the same paint. And when I wet sanded it, it exposed some of the underlayers and so on. But like I said before, as long as it feels perfect, as long as you can't feel anything different, then you're good to go. Visually isn't always a good answer. So I'm going to go ahead and mix some xylene with paint, and I'm going to do possibly the final coat. Okay, now with the final coat, I put some xylene in the bottom of the bottom of an old pickle jar here, and I'm going to pour some paint directly into it. Okay, this is oil-based paint. You can't thin water-based with xylene, just so you know. But okay, I'm going to mix it up, and now we're going to have an extra thin paint. Mix it up real good. Okay, I got paint all over me. And I'm going to pour it right in there. And I'm basically just going to put a gloss back on it, basically to change the color, you know what I mean? But I hope this may be the final coat. Okay. This is a little thinner than I wanted it to be. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to try to spread this thin. A little will go a long way. You know, the more I'm looking at it, it looks like I'm going to need more than one coat because I thinned it out so much. Some dust was in there. But yeah, definitely going to need more than one coat. Oh well, it's worth a shot. But this is so thin it won't leave much of a texture at all. I mean, when I showed you where I was wet sanding, that was I could have brought that to 600 grit. I could have brought it to 1,500. I could have brought it to 2,000 grit. But honestly, I want to get as close as possible to the original texture. And the original texture is not automotive glass gloss smooth. So I want to get this as flat as possible, as smooth as possible, without making it, it's not supposed to be shiny. It's not supposed to be like a Donkey Kong cabinet. But yeah, so let me go ahead and I'm going to turn the camera off. And looks like I'm going to need 2 coats. Oh well, we're getting there. Okay, while I'm waiting for that paint to dry, I have this coin door here, and it doesn't look, it's all one uniform color. There is one little scratch up here, but I like to see the original texture, and a lot of times when you spray it, it loses, it doesn't look right anymore. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get some, I had this old t-shirt, a little section of an old t-shirt here. I'm going to get some mineral spirits, just a little bit of it. I'm not going to paint this. I'm going to rub on a finish. Just have a little bit, just a little bit in there. And I'm going to put a little bit of linseed oil in there now. So we have just probably, I'd say this is about 25% linseed oil and about 75% mineral spirits. Okay, so I'm going to mix that up a little bit. We have it mixed up now. I'm going to set it right here. And I'm going to coat the entire thing in this mixture right here. I mean, honestly, this coin door isn't too bad, so we're going to let it go. Now, if this coin door was any worse, I'd probably say, yeah, let's go ahead and do it, but honestly, this is fine. Now, if this wasn't uniform in color, in other words, if some of the paint was missing or something like that, or there was rust coming through, I might have a different opinion on this. But also, you can put this right over the plastics, no problems. And I did wash this off. I even got a little bit of magic sponge on these pieces here. It looks better, but it ain't right. But we're close enough here. Also, this coin, I'm going to need to get a new coin door badge. But see how I mixed that little bit? I only touched it. I only dabbed this cloth in there one time. And now it's a little thick. I just barely touched it. It's a little thick. So I got to basically dry it off. I'm going to go ahead and get it on the inside here. All inside here. Every little area here. Now I'm basically going to, I have the dry side of the rag, and I'm basically going to buff it off. Get as much off as I can. Oh, and this stuff doesn't really, I mean, you could touch it. It's not like it's, you know. Okay, so now if you want to, I covered this in another video, but if you want to, if it's not uniform in color, you can add some oil-based black paint. But honestly, oh, it's great. I didn't compromise the finish or anything. Oh, a little spot here. I didn't compromise the finish or anything. That's how it looked when it left the factory, and that's how I want to keep it. Although it's drying in front of me right now, it looks like I'm going to need a second coat. I did go a little crazy on the mineral spirits, but you know what? Well, yeah, let me put a little bit more on. I'm dabbing it for the second time now. The mineral spirits dries quickly. What you really want to do is you want to get the thinnest coat, the absolute thinnest coat of linseed oil possible. And so the reason I have the mineral spirits there is because it thins out the linseed oil and will allow me to get it super thin. And the mineral spirits evaporates away quickly. But yeah, that's good enough. Okay, I'm getting ready to put on the side art. I just got this side art from Arcade Hollywood. There's a YouTube channel called Arcade Hollywood. He recently restored a Journey himself, and he bought the whole art package from this old game, and his side art looks pretty good, so he didn't bother putting the new side art on. So luckily, he gave it to me, which was very nice of him. But okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of haphazardly do this. I've done this a lot. So if you want to put on side art and be absolutely positive you're going to get it on straight, you can put it on, tape it where you want it, and roll it down and whatever. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to spray the entire cabinet. This is soapy water. Actually, this is a little bit of shampoo. Shampoo and water. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the entire thing off like that.
for the most part. Look at that, there's a crease in there right from the factory or whatever. Okay, and just stick it right on. Now, if I could find the tape measure. Now, I was watching a video from John's Arcade. Now, John's Arcade, let me spray this a little more. John's Arcade, he figured that the side art was 3.5 inches from the top, Kelly?
Yes.
And then 1.5 from the sides, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're going to do too. So, let me go ahead and move this over a little bit. It's 3. Move it down here. Move it up to here. Okay, 3. Oh, geez, move it down to here. 3.5. Needs to go down some. Okay, well, at least I know this section is correct. So I'm going to loosen it up. Ah, and then I moved it. There's 3.5. There's close to 3.5. Let's see how this goes. That was 1.5 inches. I have 1 inch and 5/8. That's damn near close. So 1 inch and 5/8. The hair off. Looks like this end needs to pick up a little bit. Should be worse. Ooh, boy, is it close. Okay. Now let me get some of that spray. Gonna keep on wetting this down. Okay, give that spray back. Inch and 5/8 by 5/8 is still pretty close. Need to bump this up a hair, I think. Still, see what we get. Boy, is that close. Let me bring this down. We'll see where it looks. I mean, it may be 1/16 of an inch off. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I mean, I think 1/16 of an inch or so. That's acceptable when it comes to how they did it, huh? See, I have 3/4. Yeah, the top is square. I think we're good to go. So I'm gonna give me this stuff here. I'm gonna go ahead and lay this down a little bit. See, I hate when you get artwork and there's a crease in it. Ugh. I know you have to roll it because of shipping, but okay, I'm gonna get this cabinet soaking wet. And hold on to this. And I got me a credit card. Actually, a Pet Supplies Plus card. Looks like the wrinkle is just in the pre-match, so that's good. Oh man, it's looking good. It's been a long time coming, man. Looking great. All the water's coming out. It's like I'm popping a pimple or something. See that? See that wrinkle? Man, that pisses me off. I mean, it doesn't matter what company you buy it from. It's, you know, you always get a chance of getting a wrinkle in your art. Especially if your artwork has sat in a tube for a long time. Look at that, look at all these wrinkles. Damn, that pisses me off. Look at that. Oh well. Looks like we'll be able to get rid of it still. Except for maybe this one to a degree. Now if you do get a wrinkle, you don't really want to force it down because then you'll have a crease. Wrinkle is bad. A crease is really bad. Oh yeah. Looks good though. Got zero bubbles. Look at these creases, man. Unbelievable. We'll get it. Should be able to get it all. Have to hit it with a hairdryer. Unbelievable. Is that not unbelievable? Sucks. Oh my god. You know what you can do, and what I could have done, is lay this flat for a couple days. So the side art kind of flattens itself out. And the wrinkles are only in the front. Like where the edge of the cardboard tube was during shipping or something. Well, that is looking beautiful, except for the wrinkles. See what it looks like in the camera.
Looks great.
Ah, beautiful. Now let me show you what I'm talking about with the wrinkles. See that? Here, 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 here. What the hell? It's only on this side too. Here's a big ass one. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this tack up a little bit, and I'm going to try to push these wrinkles out. Well, the side art is on. All the wrinkles have been removed. Looks beautiful. No creases, no anything like that. No bumps, no lumps. Oh my God. That is beautiful. Look at that. Anyways, I'm super excited about this. This is, I don't know, this is one of those like, you know, I'm not rich, and I like to collect arcade machines, so this is one of those, to me, the unobtainable. This is the unobtainable arcade machine. Jason, you're not going to afford it. You're not going to get one. And, man, it's looking beautiful. Looking awesome. Well, let me do the other side. Well guys, that's about it for this video. Stay tuned for part 3, where I'm going to do all the wiring. This harness is part of a Satan's Hollow harness, part of a Tron harness, and part of a Solar Fox harness. That I just happened to have. I got the original cables here, and I had to label all these what they are. And then this part's going to go to the harness. I had to repin a connector here. And this, of course, is going to go into, these here are going to go into an MCR to modern day switching power supply adapter. And this video cable here, this came from a Tron. So anyways, bunch of random. I mean, if you don't know, Tapper, Satan's Hollow, Tron, Timber, Spy Hunter, pretty much any MCR game, you can interchange the boards to at least get a screen I'm not gonna tell you the controls are gonna be right. I had to repin these controls to make these work with a Journey, but whatever. As long as it's, you know, I mean, all the color code is the same. I mean, it's gonna look basically not gonna look. It basically is original when I'm all done. So stay tuned for part 3 where we're gonna do all the wiring, and I'm gonna show you guys a trick on how to make your own MP3 adapter to run instead of using the original cassette tape, which I do not have. But have a good one. Please leave a comment down below. Please subscribe, and you know, have a good one.